So what's going on, guys? This literally just happened. I got a ride at a school to pick up two people. In the app, somebody was messaging me telling me I ordered this ride for two people. I think her mother and her child, whoever it was, probably was the mom. In the app, she's rambling on about something, but I'm driving. I can't, I don't want to take my eyes off the road to be reading all this stuff she's saying. So I finally I picked them up from one school. I took them to another school in town. And they didn't speak a lot of English. So the young man, shows me his phone where apparently his mom or whoever it is saying, "Come get me, I'll give you $11. She's saying it in the app, and then she's saying it by text message to this young man's phone. And I'm like, the prices are getting that bad that people are trying to circumvent the app through the app. Like literally trying to tell me through the app, "Come get me, I'll give you $11. And I ignored it because I already had another trip in the queue. And I was like, when he showed me, I was like, no, I can't. I'm already on my way to another trip that just happened to pay more than $11. But I get why people are doing it. Because for her to add a trip, like if she would add a stop, this is just an example. If she would have added a stop, had me come pick her up first, then go pick them up, it would have cost a lot more money on her end. Meanwhile, they would only want to pay me, the driver, maybe $1 or $2 more. They want you to do stops for the same price as if you would have did the regular trip because it's on the way, but yet the app charges them a lot more money. So I get why the lady was doing it, honestly, but at the same time, I don't have time to play games and go back and forth in the app, negotiate and stuff. And so I think there's so many desperate drivers, she's probably used to throwing out an offer and they just take it because the rides are so bad out here. But I just had to let you guys know that this is what's going on. And this is the kind of thing that I think is going to get worse for Uber and Lyft. This just happened to be on Uber. But things are only going to get worse like this. But I never saw nobody blatantly texting the app. Like she's trying to message me because she knows I'm about to end the trip. Because I just had dropped her family off and she could see that because she ordered the ride. And she's sitting there frantically messaging me, and I'm just kind of ignoring it because literally I'm trying to get on my way to my next pickup, And Uber, you caused this. It's Uber's fault that this is happening. And I say Uber more than Lyft because Uber sets the stage for this kind of behavior. Because if Uber started changing its ways and started paying the drivers more, okay, if you want to hit the passengers hard and charge them all types of money, at least give a decent cut to the drivers. Because another reason why this lady probably did this, let's say she would have added a stop, had me come get her first, I probably wouldn't even have accepted the trip. Why? Because I don't like trips that have stops, because I don't feel properly compensated for them. If I'm going to make a stop somewhere, that should be more than $1 more for the entire trip, in my mind. And I think another reason why Uber and Lyft do it is because a lot of times drivers will take passengers to their first stop and then cancel right there. Not cancel, but end the ride right there. So they don't want to have to credit or take money back, so they'll just pay you for one trip, the lowest they could pay you, in case that does happen. So I get both ends. I get why the apps are paying very little for these trips to have stops. And I get why passengers are trying to go around these apps because they're getting way overcharged. And I felt somewhat bad, but at the same time, I'm like, well, you can't be feeling bad for these passengers. This is a business. This is a business. You got to really, at the end of the day, you got to feel bad for yourself as a driver and treat this like a business, especially because it pays so bad. Uber and Lyft, I'm sorry, but particularly 2024, probably definitely in 2025, I think they're going to see some serious problems. Right now, if you go look, their stocks are tanking. I think the last time I looked, Lyft was down to like $10. You know, it slowly went from like 12 to like 10. I wouldn't be surprised if it goes to 9. Because they're simply, the greed, they don't realize that the greed, yes, helps them in the short term, but it doesn't help the company in the long term, if that makes sense. So charging these people high and paying the drivers low, it's going to give the company some more money in the short term. But if you're going to get sued and have strikes and have drivers quitting, it's now affecting you in the long term to the point where I believe definitely Lyft is going to go out of business, you know, if they keep operating like this. I can't say that about Uber because they got their hands on so many things and they're also in so many countries. But this is why you blame it on whoever you want to blame it on. Blame it on Biden or blame it on, you know, the president if you want. But regardless of how many illegals they let in the country, it's Lyft's fault for allowing anybody to just get on the app with Lyft. Anybody can get on the Lyft app. I can't say that about Uber. And I'm particularly thinking a lot of these foreigners are using the Lyft app because there's no facial recognition. I can't even tell you the last time Lyft asked to do any type of facial recognition or run a background check that stopped me from working. I will say I appreciate that because Uber will shut you down while they're doing a background check for sometimes a week or two for the legit drivers that are trying to out here making money. You know, meanwhile, Lyft let anybody, they'll do a background check in the background, but they're not stopping you from working. And I think a lot of these immigrants are buying legitimate people's names that are already set up in the app so they don't have an issue. Because you can literally take a homeless man off the street if he has a social security number and you can get him an ID. And I shouldn't even be telling some of you this because you're probably writing this down, but you can take somebody that's homeless, take their ID, take their information, log them onto the app and drive under their name for probably years and get away with it. You know, and these immigrants are desperate. None against immigrants, but they're probably way more desperate than the average American. They'll take these crazy rides. I had a ride on Lyft today, 25-minute to go pick them up, 25-minute ride. They offered me $18. I literally laughed to myself. I was like, I can't believe it. I literally started laughing to myself because that offer was so low. And they would have canceled. I would have been headed all my way out up there. I probably got 15 minutes in to go pick them up, and they probably would have canceled because it took so long. Uber, Lyft, you gotta stop scamming. Stop scamming your passengers. Stop scamming your drivers. And start doing legitimate business, period. To me, this is a legal scam, if that makes sense. You're scamming people. You're way overcharging them. Why would that person, right through the app, I mean, no fear, just typing right in the app, like, please come get me for $11. I have no clue where this woman is, by the way. I don't even think I saw her address. And her child showing me, because they don't speak English, she's showing me his texts where she's texting me, come get me for $11. People are getting desperate on both sides, and they're going to start cutting out these apps. And that's going to cause these companies to go out of business. I swear, if I knew how to build an app, I would start building my own app now, because I think by next year, you're going to see a major decline in people taking rideshare in general and going back to taxis, and more people taking buses again, because the price is through the roof, and yet they don't want to pay their drivers fairly. They took away all the quests, all this bonus stuff, like even this guarantee crap that Lyft does. For all I know, they're stealing my tips and paying me back my tips, because it's usually a small amount of money every Thursday. I do get something, but it's usually $10 to $20 that they're giving me, and they give me a breakdown and that nobody understands, except for maybe like Sergio from the rideshare guy could figure it out. I can't figure this mess out. It makes no sense. So I can't even correct them to see if the money's right, because it doesn't make sense to me on that Lyft personal guarantee, where they're supposed to be guaranteeing you 70%. Yeah, okay. It doesn't make sense, the numbers. And for all I know, like I said, they could be taking my tips and paying me back my tips to get me excited and calling it a personal guarantee. I'm not saying that that's happening, but how do I know it's not? Because I don't know these figures to correct it if it's wrong. You know, this is why a lot more drivers are going to start doing illegal private rides and say damn the apps. It's going to happen. I'm trying to go the legal route. I really am. I want to get the commercial insurance. I want to do things the right way. But I'm telling you, a lot more guys are going to start getting off the apps and stealing Uber and Lyft customers. Give me your thoughts down below. Please, it helps the channel. Hit that like button, subscribe, like, comment, click the bell icon, and I'm going to see you guys in the next video. Thank you.